In this video, our task is create a controller for our room. There are two ways to create a controller in Rails. The first one is create a new file under controller folder, just like we did before with the Omnial codebase controller. The second way is to run a command in the terminal, and I'll do it this time. Now open your terminal and make sure you're in an alien folder. Now we're going to type Rails generate controller, and we're going to say rooms. Remember the S here. Okay, now the next one would be the different action that we want to do. The first one would be index, show, new, create, edit, and update. Alright, so now as you can see, Rails just create a new file named rooms_controller.rb under the F controller, and that is our rooms controller. And also it just create a different file under the F views rooms folder, and we got index, show, new, create, edit, and update. And that's a view corresponding to the different action. Don't worry about the other files created for you here, as they are just for testing and not relevant to what we're doing. In our project, open app controllers, and now as you can see, we got rooms controller.rb, and also Rails just automatically created those file action for us. Alright, and corresponding to that, we got the folders named rooms under the views folder, and also we got the create file, edit, index, new, show, and update. We're talking about this one in later. Now just go back to our rooms controller, the index one. So normally it's for the index action. We want to show all rooms in our database. So we're going to say rooms equal room.all. Alright, that's for the index. Now the thing here is, because instead of showing every rooms in the database, we just want to show every room under a single person. So to do that, we just say current user dot rooms. We can do this because if you open the model and rooms, user.rb, see that under the user model we have many rooms, so that's why you can get this under current user. Now for the show and edit and update, if you want to show or edit or update a rooms, you need to know its ID. So for example, if you want to show a room, you have to say room equal room.find and params ID. That makes sense. And you have to copy this and put it under edit action and update action. Well, this worked fine, but the thing here is you just repeat the code, the same code in a different action, which is not a good practice. Now what we should do here, we should say the private, alright, and we're going to create a new method named setRoom, and under the setRoom method we're going to get the room just like this. Now as you can see, if you want to set room, we're going to call this one under show, edit, and update, which is much better. But still, we still repeat the code, alright, which is again not a good practice. Now Rails give a better way for you to do this in this case, and that call before action, alright, and we're going to call set room. So that's mean before any single action here, we'll call this set room method, which is this one, and we're going to create a new room variable, and we pass the param ID into that. So that means you don't have to call the set room in show, edit, and update. Now I can just remove this one. Okay. Now if you just call this one, and that means it's gonna call these methods before every single action here, but we just need it for show, edit, and update only. That's why we're gonna set only for show, edit, and update. That's it, very simple. We also need to create another private method here to let Rails know which rooms parameter are permitted to access. Now, so under private here, we're going to create a new method, and I'm going to call that room params. You can call it to whatever you want. Now we say params.require room model and .permit. So in here we allowed home type, room type, accommodate, bedroom, bathroom, listing name, summary, address, what is it? Is TV, is kitchen, is A, is eating, is internet, price, and the last one will be active. Okay. Now we start creating rooms in the new action, and we're going to say room equal current user dot rooms dot build. So because when you create a new room, you need to know who is the owner of that room. So that's why we got a current user dot rooms dot build. Now for the create action, similar to the new action, we're going to create a new variable room, just like the one that we did with new action. So I'll just copy this one, put it here. But this time we're going to pass the rooms params. Now we're going to check if the save transaction working. Dot save. That means we can create a new room and save it in our database. Then we're going to redirect to the show page, and for that we just need to say redirect to add room along with a notice saying save it. Otherwise we just need to render the new action so user can recreate a room again. Now for the updates action, we're going to check if the room dot update, and again we're going to pass the room params. If that is the case, then we're going to redirect to the show page with a notice say updated. Otherwise just render back to the edit form. So far everything looks good. Now if you notice here for the index, new, create, edit, and update actions, it requires user to log in to be able to list, create, or update the room information. That is why we need to authenticate user before those actions. Now to do that, we're going to say before action authenticate user. However, there is one exception here. In the show action, which is a page to show your room's details, you want everyone can see it, so that's why we don't need to authenticate user for this action. Then I can say except shelf. Save it. Next, open the config and route.rb. Now see that? Because we run the command to create a controller, so that's why Rails just create this one first. But we don't need to do that, so I'll just delete it. And instead, we're going to create the resources here, and we say rooms. Can you see that here we got the resource user, but we restrict to show action only. But for the rooms, there's no restriction. So what does mean to you? Let me explain. Open your terminal and type rec routes. Now, as you can see here, for a user, you only have a show path. See that? So you got user and user show path, which is the /user and /id for a show page. But for the room, you have rooms index, create, new, edit, show, update, and destroy, which is the get, post, and all the things here. So now you understand what's happening behind the scenes of the resources. Okay, that is for this session. I hope you get some ideas of how to deal with controllers in Rails. If you're not quite sure about that at this step, don't worry, you will get it along the way. In the next video, we'll be working on the views, and that's interesting. I'll see you then.